Welcome to another Demarcation Media Mega Construx review. Today we have another batch of customs from WhoTheCares to look at, and there is a lot to look at here. We've got the entire range of customs here, from elites to brutes to grunts to marines to some very different characters that we will look more closely at. But let's go ahead and jump in, starting with this Spartan right here. So here is the Spartan. It is an air assault Spartan, which means it is a female. Well, there have been male air assault Spartans, but the chest plate is female specific. And we've got a very striking color scheme here. So lots of silver, and then the silver has like some red highlights, little like red lights, which silver and red is a good pairing. And then we've got black. So we have the robotic arm here in black, which is not, well, the arm itself is not great to begin with, but it's definitely going to be difficult to put anything in this this hand, because it will most certainly scratch the paint with how this hand is. You can see a little bit through it. It was the clear one. But it, like I said, it's not a great arm to begin with, which means it's not super useful for posing weapons and stuff in. So that kind of works out. But what really struck me about this figure was the black visor. We don't get black visors like ever from Mega. Have we even ever gotten a black visor from Mega? I know we got one on the like oddball helmet, the skull control helmet, but that was the helmet. I don't know if we've ever gotten an actual black visor on a figure before, and it looks really interesting, especially in matte, in like a matte color. I think that's pretty cool. I would like to see Mega do something like this themselves at some point. Then we got some nice detailing for the lights on either side of the helmet, as well as the little attachment thingy on there. I don't know the names of the reach attachments. There's too many of them for me to keep up. And then there's a DMR. I don't know if this DMR was supposed to have, like, it was supposed to go to this figure or not, but it seemed appropriate. There's some black detailing, and then the scope has been turned into kind of like an ammo counter or more detailed scope, because there's a little blue screen. Overall, really cool figure. I think it's a super, super strong start. And of course, as I say that, that was supposed to be like cool, and then she said no and just kind of died. Next up, we have a pair of grunts. These guys are pretty simple customs. It looks like they were just painted red. This guy, I think, used to be yellow. I can see a little bit of the yellow or the orangish color underneath. There's like a dry brush over top. He's got a normal needler. And then this guy has a bit of a darker red, a little bit more of a wash on there. And then he's got a red plasma pistol that also has a similar wash, and it's got a black handle, which looks pretty cool. Yeah, pretty simple, but very effective, and you can never have too many grunts. And am I just like off my game with the posing today? Please stand up. It's not that hard. There we go. To provide some covering fire for the grunts is this Jackal Sniper. He's been done up the same way the grunts have, with some red paint and some dry brushing and a little bit of dirt wash, which looks pretty good. I like the mask in red. I think Mega needs to do a recolor like that of their own. The forearm bits are painted red as well, although the inside is not, which is a little odd looking. This, if I had been painting this, I probably would have done that in spray paint, just because it would have been easier to like get it on there. But I do like the idea of the red forearm guards. Hopefully we will see a full-on banished sniper Jackal at some point. Nice weathering on the chest. Continues down the legs. I always love a good little dirt wash and dry brushing. And then he's just armed with the plasma carbine, however you want to say it. Following right on the heels of the Sniper Jackal is the Skirmisher. This guy looks like he's been given a bit of the same treatment. He's been made a little bit more banished looking. These guys came in red originally, but it was very bright red. So it's been dulled down here, given again, the silver dry brushing, a bit of a dirt wash, which looks really good. It almost looks like the whole figure was painted, like all the red bits, but it was just a bit to like dull it down, which takes away the like toy kind of slight translucence to the red plastic, because the red was very bright. We've even got a little dry brushing on the feathers. I'm not sure how much that makes sense, but it looks good. So, I mean, I probably would have done that myself. And then there's a bit of like reddish coloring on the forearms. I don't know, is that supposed to be blood, or if it, I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it kind of makes the figure flow a little better. And then we have a, what is this? This is not a beam rifle. Is it a beam rifle? Or is this a focus rifle? Either way, it's one of the two. And it's been done in, so the base piece is purple, but then there's a little bit of red up here and a little bit of red here. And I feel like this color combination shouldn't work. I feel like the purple and red should not work at all. They kind of feel like they would be at odds with each other. But I actually really like how this turned out. It's a really simple paint scheme, but it works out really well. Also, has anybody ever noticed that these rifles kind of look like jackal heads? To round off our banished troops, we have this banished chieftain, which looks really good in all red. There's a bit of silver on here, and I can't tell if that's supposed to be a marking or if it's just where the paint rubbed a little bit. But either way, it actually kind of works out. Then got red all the way around the back. A slight bit of a dirt wash maybe, or maybe that's just the dark shade of the paint. I can't quite tell. Then we've got our boy Craig under there. Helmet has no additional markings, but still looks pretty good. Then he's got a grab hammer, which has the blade on the back painted red, as well as the little rings here. And then I wanted to put him next to the captain from the last video, because I feel like they go side by side pretty well. It looks pretty good. The captain does have a silver wash. This guy doesn't really have much of a silver wash. I think maybe he could have used a little bit. You know, just kind of like this guy. But that is pretty cool. So we've got our two like long range banished troops. The jackal is being blocked out by the chieftain's hammer. And then we have our two grunts like so. I think that's a pretty decent banished strike force right there. I would not want to run up against this myself, particularly the sniper jackal, just because that's not fun. But I feel like the skirmisher would be almost as bad with that rifle. Next up, we have a pair of UNSC pilots, or at least I'm assuming that these are supposed to be UNSC. This figure is definitely UNSC looking, although this guy could be just a normal like fighter pilot, but he's got the new chest plate, or I guess it's not new, it's just they repurposed it lately. The Halo 2 Marines chest plate, but it's been painted in a darker green, but the pouches have been left unpainted, which is pretty impressive. There's not much overspill onto those pouches. And then there's a little bit of a dirt wash on the legs, and then the helmet and the head is where a lot has been done. The helmet's been turned into more of a military green with these red markings up here. The red markings give me the same kind of vibes as Captain Rex's whatever you call those markings, the eyes on his helmet. And then there's like a skull. But the big thing about this figure and the other pilot, who I'll bring back in a second, is the weapons have been modified. You can see the little piece of metal. And then there's a piece of metal here. So look at this. How cool is that? It's literally a magnet, and you can just pop it on and off. How cool is that? And you know, for Mega Construx figures can sometimes fit weapons on the side like this anyway. So, to make it a little more impressive, we have this pilot who really is fairly stock. The chest plate's been painted. I don't know if the helmet's been painted or not. I think the helmet is stock. But we have the same magnet thing here. So usually you have to peg in the weapons like this, or you have to get a clip and peg it in like this. But WhoTheCares has put a magnet in there, and a magnet in here, and so now we get an accurate mounting to the back. Well, I don't know how accurate it is for the Marines, but for the Spartans, it's definitely accurate. So look, it just kind of pegs on there, and then you can just pop it off, pop it on, and it's fairly sturdy. Like, sure, you can pop it off, but for a magnet, especially a magnet this size, it sticks on there pretty well. Like, I'm not just gonna be able to shake it off. You would have to like pop it off. So that's pretty cool. I think that's something that Mega themselves could do, and I kind of want to do this myself now. But it's just the detail work you have to do, like the fine drilling you have to do to get that in there. Because if you drill, I mean, look how thick that is. If you drill too far, you're just gonna pop right through the other side, which I guess that could be fine. Then you could mount it either way. Actually, now I'm curious, will it mount? Okay, no, it's actually the backwards side of the magnet. Very, very cool. That is really neat. And it just feels cool to pop, 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 pop. Like that just, it feels like how it looks in the game when they mount weapons on their back. So this guy here, I'm not 100% sure if he's supposed to be like a Halo guy or just like an insurrectionist or what. But he's got one of the capes from Game of Thrones. That's been a bit recolored. And then he has one of the new UNSC Marine heads with a Call of Duty hat glued onto it, which the hat is actually, looks like it's slightly falling off, but I don't think it is. And then he's got like some ghillie suit type material on the front. He's got some ammo. And then his weapon here looks to be an AR that was, oh, well, it's popping out. It looks like an AR that was modified to be some sort of sniper. So it's like the normal AR under there, but then it's got a little stand and a barrel extension, and then of course the ghillie suit stuff so he can shoot, unseen. But yeah, it looks like it's made to be some sort of a long range AR. So he's kind of like a sniper, maybe mid range sniper of some sort. He's got some camo on his arms. He's got camo pants with the ghillie suit stuff. So really interesting. I'm not sure if this guy is supposed to be UNSC or not. He definitely could be UNSC, but he also looks a bit like guerrilla warfare kind of. Maybe like a Marine survivor on the Halo ring. But I'm not sure where he would have gotten the cloak and the hat from. Because I don't think that's the kind of thing that they stocked on the Infinity, and I don't think it's the kind of thing that the Banish would have had laying around either. So this figure right here is pretty interesting, because at first glance, it looks like an NMPD figure. But then, on a second glance, you realize, well, there's green. That's a green undersuit, and it's not the like NMPD color. So this is just straight up a military police soldier. Military police, would you say police officer? Military police officer? And he's even repurposed the NMPD shoulders to just say MP on it, which is pretty cool. The M here is a little scratched. Let me do it on this side. See, MP, painted MP onto the head. The head is done in kind of a green color with some white. Oh, okay, there, never mind. There we go. It just stuck there for a second. The chest plate is an NMPD chest plate, but it's painted up. And then the base figure is one of the Battle for the Ark Marines, which some of the best Marines Mega has made. I really like this. I think this is a really cool idea. It's a lot more versatile than just NMPD, because NMPD is great, and I still need to collect some, but they are fairly limited because, they're New Mombasa police, so they're going to be around New Mombasa. So they're great for, like, Halo 3 ODST dioramas or photos and that kind of thing. But you can't really just have some NMPD officers on, say, the Infinity or out on Requiem or something. But this is the kind of thing you can stick literally anywhere in a setup, and it'll work out pretty well. And again, the whole muted green color scheme is really good. I really like it. And these look like they were painted just like freehand, and that's pretty impressive. I know if I tried to do that, it would look like smudges and smears. So I don't try doing that. I leave it to people who can do it. So that I find that pretty impressive. And then again, leaving the MP visible on the shoulders was really clever. Full points there. Then the weapon is just a black AR. You don't really need anything fancy for just a military police. And speaking of the Battle for the Ark Marines, we have some really interesting figures here. Now, I don't actually think these were originally the Battle for the Ark ones. I think was Yankee the one with the tan undersuit. Let me look closer. I think these were Yankee originally. So we have these Halo Wars style Marines. We got a little squad here. This dude has a head from the Call of Duty line. It's been repurposed here. I think this looks fantastic. Excellent mix. And these guys look like they've been through hell and back. They've gotten really just they almost look like they're from the trenches, like they've been in the trenches for a while. They've got like mud and grime all over them. A little bit of battle damage kind of stuff. And then it's all over the gun as well. It just looks really good. And then I think the armor might have been painted. Well, maybe not. No, the thigh armor definitely has been painted. I don't think Mega did those in other colors other than gray and black. So that's pretty cool. And then we have another Marine. This guy's just kind of a normal Marine. He's also got a dirty rifle. He's got his masked face, which I love that head so much. Looks really, really good. I like this a lot. It almost looks like you could have these guys be like from a flood zone, because it almost looks like splattered flood biomass on his feet. And then this dude right here is very similar to the other dude we just looked at, but he is a medic. So you can see a medic sign on his shoulder. There's mud kind of smearing over it. He's got a backpack with the medic symbol on it, which is fantastic. Then he's got it on the other side as well. That is really cool. It's been a long time since Mega themselves made an actual like official Marine medic, and I don't have any of them, so I really like this. I'm honestly really looking forward to getting these guys in particular in front of the camera. This kind of grime just works out really well when you're doing it like in close photos. I might give them a matte top coat. I don't know if they've been top coated or not, and I'm always wary about taking my figures out and doing photo shoots without a top coat to protect the paint. AR, this is a bigger, bulkier AR, older style with like a silver kind of dry brushed over it. I don't know if he took one that was originally painted silver and scratched some of the silver off, or if he added the silver. Either way, it's the same effect. It looks like a very worn and damaged rifle. Maybe he picked it up on the way through the battlefield. I think these guys might be my favorite out of the whole bunch. There is one other figure, though. Well, maybe two other figures that might beat these guys. We'll take a look at them in a minute. But for now, for these guys, absolutely fantastic. I really, really love this. It's taken my favorite Marine design and kind of turned it up a notch. So we're not entirely done with looking at enemy figures. We were just done with the Banished. So right here we have a kind of a Silent Shadow-esque Elite Ultra. He's got all black with some yellow highlights. He's got yellow eyes around the back. Pretty much all black. He's like very, very full-on stealth. You can see a little bit of blue at the elbows. It's rubbed a bit on both sides. There's really no way to get around that other than just using the black joint pieces. But he's got the correct new hands, which looks pretty cool. And then he's got a plasma repeater, which is also pretty cool. Yeah, this guy is really neat. I'm not sure, or I'm not sure I would have chosen yellow for the highlights, but it works out. Like, I would have thought, red. Red and black makes the kind of Spec Ops look. That's just your typical Spec Ops look anyway. But the yellow almost is a little more frightening because it's unexpected. I think that's pretty cool. And I don't know, maybe the Silent Shadow does use yellow lights and I wasn't aware. Maybe this is accurate and I just have it stuck in my head that red and black is like Spec Ops Elites because of Jaga, because Jaga is black and red. But yeah, this is pretty cool. He's obviously not banished. So I don't know, maybe this guy is not bad. Maybe he is on the side of the Arbiter. This elite sports a color scheme very similar to the Arbiter. We've got all silver all over, just flat silver with a little bit of like kind of battle damage. So it looks like the green, metallic green 10th anniversary elite was used as the base for this, and then the silver was brushed on over top. And it's like a mix between a full paint and a dry brush, so it looks worn. It almost looks like the green is the part that's scratching off. Like he's been through battle, and originally his armor was green, and now he's just been through so much that it's worn back to silver. I don't know if that was intentional, but that's the look that I'm getting here, and I think that's pretty cool. Looks like maybe he used actual silver for the forearms, which is good, because that means when the elbows rub, you can't really see it. And then he comes armed with a fuel rod cannon, and this is one of the old style fuel rod cannons, so the fuel rods actually come out, which is pretty slick. This is not custom painted, I don't believe. It looks like it's a stock piece, but I'm pretty excited about it because I've never gotten one of these old style fuel rod cannons. I have like one or two of the newer ones, but not these ones. Not where you can actually see the ammo sticking out and like remove it and whatever. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's hard to beat just a simple, nice silver, especially for an elite because, you know, Arbiter vibes. So yeah, thumbs up for this one. Definitely like how this guy turned out. And then there's this guy, Chibi Marine. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say here. It's literally Chibi Marine. He's got the tiny legs, which the tiny legs are hilarious. Unfortunately, they didn't seem to make real tiny arms. There's just like these ones that don't bend at the elbows. So it's like pre-posed, but you can get some decent poses out of it. And then his helmet, I don't know if WhoTheCares did this on purpose or not, but the helmet had the peg cut out of it and his head shaved a bit so that when he puts on the helmet, it kind of like falls over his eyes and makes him look even more like a little kid, which is absolutely hilarious. If that was on purpose, then that was very clever. He's got a backpack and everything. This gun, I have no idea what this gun is from because it's definitely not Mega. But I think, yeah, he can carry it on his chest in this holster. And yeah, he's literally just like, here's normal Marine and Chibi Marine. And I asked WhoTheCares if there was like something, if he was supposed to be some character, some name, something I don't know. But no, it's literally just like tiny short Marine. And yeah, out of context, short Marine. There you have it. So remember how I said that there were two figures left to look at that might beat the Marines in terms of how much I like it? This is one of them. This is, I believe he is called Gladiator Craig. I think that's what WhoTheCares is calling him. He made some joke a while back about there being Gladiator Craig, and then he made a Gladiator Craig, and it looks really cool. Like this guy looks like he's from a fantasy thing, like the way the fur is. I think, holy moly, I think he used a Tartarus for this custom. So like that was a bit of a pricey custom there, but dang, it turned out really good. This just looks super cool. And there's also like the shield and the waist piece were from Kratos, the God of War. I don't know how to pronounce his name apparently. And it just works out really well. It kind of removes the brute from the context of Halo and turns him more into like almost a troll kind of thing. And he's got the grab hammer, and yes, it's a little high-tech looking, but it can easily pass as a sort of gladiator weapon. I believe that's Craig under that helmet. Oh, look at that! He's got like some war paint on his face too. I almost wasn't going to remove his helmet. War paint Craig. Yeah, I like this a lot. Also, where did that shoulder armor come from? Is that one of the God of War's pieces? Because that is pretty slick. I think the same for this. Only thing I'd be worried about is how well the purple stays on there. But other than that, this is fantastic. And I like how the shield is all beat up. So clearly he's been through various battles. And clearly he's come out on top because, you know, he's the one still standing with the broken shield. And they would not be standing. So yeah, really cool concept, really cool execution. This guy is, like I said, potentially one of my favorite customs from the lineup. However, there is one more figure that is trying really, really hard to take the top spot. I've talked about it on the channel before, but I am a sucker for good medieval fantasy stuff. I really love the Lego Castle stuff. I really love the like few medieval things Mega has done, like or not even medieval, just like fantasy, like the way they did the Viking boat. And this right here, this is a true, like, full-on knight. And he gives me, looks like shard plate almost. Obviously, there's not fully enough armor for that, but it almost looks like a set of shard plate. And this is made using I think that was a Gallarhorn Titan. And he's got the wolf shoulders. He's got this sword here. I think the sword, I don't know what the base color of the sword was. Maybe it was just a plain sword, so it's been all painted black for the crossguard, red for like the leather bits, silver for the blade. This shield is from the old Dragons line. Well, obviously it's Dragons, but it's just a stock shield, but we don't see these anymore, so that's cool. And then just the gray and the simplicity of it is fantastic. There's a couple spots where gold is peeking through, and I'll probably give this guy a wash, or not a wash, what am I saying? A top coat to protect the paint as well, because I really like this. I would like to get a fair few photos with this dude, because he just looks really good. And he's using the taller, like, Destiny legs, which makes him tower over, like, the Halo figures, and I'm pretty sure he would tower over the Vikings that I have as well. So I want to get him in a scene fighting the Vikings. So yeah, this dude, I feel like this guy is the top spot for me. But those Marines were really good. Gladiator Craig is really good. Honestly, I'd like to get this guy in fighting Gladiator Craig. And it was just such a good idea to use a Titan as the base for a knight, because they're essentially just space knights. So yeah, I think this guy's the top spot. This guy probably is number one, and then the Marines and Craig come in second place all together. But yeah, that's really cool. I really wish Mega did Knights of their own again, because there's so much potential here. Well, there you have it. I think that is another pretty impressive batch of customs. And I gotta say, this row here, just absolutely amazing. I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of photos with these guys. I cannot wait to get, particularly the Marines out there, but again, like the Knight, I really want to get him in some shots with the Gladiator Craig, in some shots with my Vikings. That's just really, really cool. I've been wanting to do some sort of a Knight custom myself, and I started a while back, and it just wasn't working out real well. Which actually, I modified... Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, I need to go find that real quick. Hang on just a second. There we go, look at that. Yeah, I modified a Playmobil sword and started painting it for my knight that I was doing. So now the shard blade vibes are complete. Or the shard plate vibes. This looks like he's got a shard blade to go along with it. That's pretty cool. I don't know if I'll end up using this. Because the color scheme almost matches, but it's not the right kind of silver. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool to try. Something about oversized swords are really cool. And this one does look a little small, but just the way Mega made it. And it is kind of a little realistic. So yeah, definitely have some ideas here. And like I said, I probably need to top coat them before I get them out into the photos and whatnot, because I don't want to damage their paint. But yeah, so huge thanks to WhoTheCares for sending these to me. And guess double shout out, because he just became a member a little while ago. And I'm going to actually read through the members list again just to say thank you. So we got Noah P., WhoTheCares, Jacob and Ginger Hoffman, Multiversal Productions, HMC, Photography and Stop Motions, Chonky Chief, Kevinator, and Not a Hacker 776. I really appreciate all of the support. The members, just that's the thing that can keep this channel running. So I really appreciate it. Huge shout out to all of them. And you know, if they've got channels, I will link them in the description below. Go check them out. So yeah, that was a pretty epic bundle of customs. Let me just bring back all the ones that take my top spots again. Look at that. Look, how cool is that? That is epic. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.